Everyone, in today's video, I want to show the progress that we've made on our mail monitoring solution. But before I get to that, just a couple of housekeeping things. The first thing is a reminder that every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we host the Cortex Users Group. That included last week while I was at Service Management World. I don't think anyone showed up, but we still had it. But every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, Cortex Users Group. Um, it's an opportunity for you to come ask us about anything related to Cortex and anything related to the other stuff that we're working on, including what I'm about to show you in this video, and the second piece of housekeeping, which is that we're producing a report based on my experience at Service Management World on all of the ITSM platforms that were there and how they relate or how they compare to your experience using Cherwell. So basically, it's a Cherwell user's guide to all of the modern ITSM platforms that aren't the big names that surprisingly weren't at Service Management World. Um, there's a video. I think the last video on the channel is a little bit more information about that. You can go check that out. Um, and also stay tuned for the additional videos that are kind of part of that report. There will be a playlist. There will be a link down in the video description to that playlist. Um, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when the rest of those videos come out. So with that, let's talk about our mail monitoring solution. I am going to show a demo of some progress that we've made, kind of showing the direction that we're going in the interest of getting some feedback from you. We're getting close to the point where we want to get people into the product and using it. Um, like I mentioned in the last video we did about this, it will still look a lot like Cortex. The reason for that is because we've based the new code that we're writing on the old code that we've been using with Cortex. But this is likely to be a completely separate product. Um, so even if you try this out on your own systems, the idea is that it's a completely separate thing from Cortex. Might still use the name Cortex, but it'll be a completely separate application, completely separate licensing, all that good stuff. Um, Also, because this is totally in progress, this is work in progress. Think about this kind of like you're building a brand new house and you're walking through it where it's just bare studs and maybe there's some plywood on the outside or OSB on the outside, um, but you are seeing the raw internals of the house, the wires going through the walls, the pipes going through the walls. There's no drywall, no decorations. This is not a finished house by any stretch of the imagination. So keep that in mind as I do the demo, and hopefully my camera will focus at some point. But let's switch over to the demo. So first things first, we've kind of split out some of the pieces into kind of their own areas. So in the last video, or the last video specifically about this, we kind of had this one main page where you could define a new email monitor. That's what Sharewell calls it, um, specifically the rules. And you could say, what mailbox should it be tied to? And then what should it do? We've now split some of those pieces out into their own sections. So like mailbox, mailbox authentication, this is where you set up your specific email mailbox. So here I have it tied to my dev email address over here. And then of course I've created a monitor that connects to that mailbox. So the account is the Brian Parks mailbox. I'm saying that I'm going to use the inbox, but if I wanted to use a different folder, I could choose that. We still haven't implemented filters yet. I know that's something that I've gotten a lot of feedback about already. Some things that Cherwell did really well, some things that Cherwell maybe didn't do so well, that actually frustrated some people. So we're planning on taking that into account. We just haven't gotten there yet. And uh, After that, we're getting into looking up a customer and then doing some actions. And you can see instead of forward to REST API, like I had checked last time, we see create Halo ticket using data source. We need to talk a little bit about some other things in order for that to make sense. So let's do that right now. We're adding this concept of data sources. Um, so uh, Obviously, Sharewell, or in Cortex specifically, Sharewell kind of was the database. Your Sharewell database was the database that Cortex was running on. Obviously, in this completely new mode, that paradigm goes out the window. We assume that Cortex has its own database that it is running on, but it doesn't necessarily have any of its own data. We're specifically tying in with the systems that you already have. And the way we're exposing those to the new functionality that we're adding to this platform is through the concept of data sources. So right now, we're creating a HaloITSM data source. It is specifically, if you are using HaloITSM, you can connect to it as a data source, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like in just a second. And now you can interact with your Halo system through the mail monitoring rules. So I have a demo trial Halo system. You can, if you're not using Halo yet, you can just sign up for I think it's a 30-day trial, um, and play around with it. If you if you haven't decided what system to go to after Sharewell and you haven't taken a look at Halo yet, I definitely recommend it. Um, you won't waste any time. And a lot of the people that we're working with are also working with Halo. They seem to be really hungry, and I'll have a video coming out probably later this week, comparing Halo to Sharewell as part of that report I mentioned earlier in the video. Um, because of our relationships with some of our partners, Halo is where we decided to start with this, just because we already had some knowledge with that system. So anyway, I've added this Halo system as a data source, and the way you do that is basically choose Halo, and you can see a sneak peek at some of the other things we're planning on adding, maybe potentially, and then for Halo, there are four pieces of connection information that you need to provide, and those are accessible through the API configuration in the admin section of Halo. Um, as we get closer to shipping this as a real product, we'll have actual documentation on how to find that. Um, and then from there, you can actually import all of the ticket types and all of the fields that are related to that. Those will actually come into play a little bit later on. We don't have all of that quite wired up right now. Um, and the other three tabs are basically just for us as we're testing. This is really, seeing behind the drywall and seeing the wires and the pipes in the wall. So anyway, I have my demo, my vParks demo Halo data source set up. I have this email monitor that we go back to actions. It's creating a Halo ticket using this data source. Um, and basically, it's just right now, it's creating kind of the default ticket. Right now, there isn't much customization. That's actually something that we're working on right now, is to be able to customize what fields you set to what values and that sort of thing. That's the vision. And then if it's successful, I mark as red, and on errors, I also mark as red. Okay, so that's all set up. I could go over to this test monitoring screen, and you can see there's actually one that's been processed already a few days ago. Um, but I'm actually going to leave this screen uh, up, and I'm going to set an email as unread. If I can remember how to do that, let's see, mark as unread. Okay, so we see one unread, and yep, it just alerted me that there's one unread. And now we're not going to click that button. We're actually just going to wait and refresh the page. And now we can see there's actually been a second email that got processed. 11:25, that's when I'm recording it. This is 11:25. It must be 4:16 UTC when I'm recording this. Uh, and it's been processed. It happened super quick. It read it, processed it, and created a new ticket in Halo. And we can actually see it just came in when I switched to that tab. And we can see here it is, brand new, date created. This is actually showing up in my local time. We drill into it, we can see it was created with the Synapse software client. No, that is Synapse software is the client. Never mind. And we can see here's the details. The email that it was created from is in the incident body. The subject is the title of the incident. All of this will be configurable. We're getting to that. Right now, we're kind of checking the box and getting our ducks in a row to replicate the behavior in a lot of other ITSM platforms. Lots of ITSM platforms just monitor a single mailbox and don't have any filtering. Anything that comes in creates a new incident with the subject is the name of the incident. The body becomes the description of the incident, and we have that. So we're at least as good as several other ITSM platforms, but we're not stopping there. We're going way beyond that. We've got a lot of things planned for what this monitor will be able to do, um, and probably even can do right now. This is just the version that I have downloaded on my machine to be able to demo it. Um, so we're really excited about where we're going with this, both in terms of integrating with Halo, integrating with other ITSM platforms, integrating with other systems in general. This isn't specifically an ITSM problem. This is a business operations problem. So while we're starting with the ITSM world, we will be integrating with potentially other systems, CRM systems or just databases, right? Um, so all of that is going to be driven and channeled and prioritized based on your feedback. So if you want to see this on your systems, you want to get this running in your environment right now, um, I'm going to ask you to be patient just a little bit, but you can definitely reach out to me. Let me know you're interested and provide feedback. And as soon as this is ready to run in your environments, we'll make it happen. Um, it doesn't have to be done yet. It doesn't have to be released. We can certainly get you a trial version, get it running, get your feedback, have you test it out, and tell us what works, what doesn't. Obviously, we're going to test it from a code sense, but what works and what doesn't from a business and IT operations sense. Um, your feedback is going to be monumental, instrumental in making this truly worthwhile. So let us know what you want to see. Give feedback down in the comments down below. Book time on my calendar. I'd love to talk to you about how you would use this in your environment. Um, and we're just going to keep chugging along, further integrating with Halo, getting some of the rough edges polished off, integrating with some of the other ITSM platforms that we're already working with in various capacities. Um, we're pursuing partnerships with lots of different ITSM platforms. My goal is to be partners with every ITSM platform that was exhibiting at Service Management World. Um, it doesn't matter where they're headquartered. I want to partner with all of them because they all are doing fantastic work. They're all doing great things. They're all great in their own way. Um, some of them might be more applicable to you coming from a Cherwell background. Some of them might be more applicable depending on the type of organization that you are. That's another reason that we're doing that report that I mentioned earlier in the video. So, all that being said, your feedback is much appreciated. Leave comments down below, schedule time with me. request to be part of the demo or trial or beta period, whatever you want to call it, um, of this new tool that we're building, which still doesn't have a name yet. We're still kind of working that out. Um, just call it the mail monitor or the mail processing tool. That works for me. Uh, Yeah, you will definitely be seeing more of this in future videos. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and stay tuned for all of the videos coming up where we're going to talk about all of the different ITSM platforms that we're at Service Management World and how they compare or how they might be relevant to you, to your evaluations coming specifically from Cherwell. Thanks for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. There's lots of incredible content coming your way. Thanks for watching.